a man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons. And he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly.
Breaking news at 5 a.m. Gunshots ringing out outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. The suspected shooter has been identified as a man from Torrance.
Surveillance video shows him sprinting through the lobby of the Washington Hilton, moving past Secret Service agents who drew their guns to take him down.
This morning, the investigation stretches to Southern California as law enforcement agents try to put those pieces together.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
Thank you for being with us on this Sunday morning. I'm Tim Caputo.
And I'm Abigail Velez in for Irene Cruz. This morning we have live team coverage on the shooting as we learn more about the suspected gunman from Torrance.
We do want to begin with Eyewitness News reporter Monica de Anda, who is live near the suspect's home in Torrance with the very latest there. Monica.
Tim, Abigail, good morning. Yeah, we are actually in the neighborhood of the 31-year-old suspect, Cole Allen. He is accused of firing shots at last night's White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is actually his home right behind us. You may be able to see lights are on. We've seen who appear to be federal agents going in and out of the home in the time that we've been here. So still a lot of activity, but it is definitely more quiet than what we saw here last night. Take a look. This video appears to show the moment that FBI agents swarmed this neighborhood, specifically this home here on Gramercy Avenue in Torrance late last night. The law enforcement response was massive and included FBI agents in tactical gear and armored vehicles. Now check this out. At one point, Air 7 video appears to show federal agents speaking with people who live inside of that home. Later, it appeared spotlights were focused on a second-story window and the front door. Agents finally made entry shortly before midnight. And as this was all unfolding, the mayor of Torrance spoke to us right here at the scene.
The city of Torrance is a very friendly and a safe city. You know, an incident like this, puts us on the national spotlight. And of course, we're against violence of any kind, political or racial or any type. And we're very, very happy that the first responders agencies in D.C. captured the perpetrator immediately. But the fact that his home is here doesn't define the city of Torrance this way. The action of one person does not represent the entire city.
Here's what we're just learning about the suspect. 31-year-old Cole Allen graduated from Caltech in 2017 and from Cal State University Dominguez Hills in 2025. That's according to representatives for both schools. According to a LinkedIn page connected to the suspect, Allen is a trained mechanical engineer who now works as a tutor. His current employer, C2 Education, named Allen Teacher of the Month just last year. Allen is in custody and is believed to have been acted alone in this. Now, we've also learned 2 firearms and multiple knives were recovered. And as we come back out here live again, fairly quiet on the street, but still a lot of activity going on inside of that home here behind us. And we do know that Allen is expected to be arraigned in court on Monday. Reporting live in Torrance, Monica de Anda, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Certainly a busy overnight and morning there in Torrance. Thank you, Monica. Again, this all started at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, the shooting forced President Donald Trump and other top officials to be rushed from the room. ABC's Allison Cossack continues our team coverage from Washington.
This morning, investigators are working to piece together what led up to the gunfire at the Washington Hilton. According to D.C. police, just after 8:30 Saturday night, a gunman charged a Secret Service checkpoint armed with a handgun, a shotgun, and multiple knives. Authorities say law enforcement quickly engaged, exchanging gunfire with the suspect. The suspect has been identified as 31-year-old Cole Allen. A Secret Service officer was
I promise you, the more this goes on, the more you're going to see. Because whether the administration is Trump or a Democrat Party, the unemployment's going up, the loss of hope and anything to do with the identity of what you are doing in this nation. They're going to rob you of your opportunity. He's a mechanical engineer doing tutoring. His life is over. He was heading down a bad path. I promise you, people are going to start realizing that there is no hope in this nation. There's no way out of it. There's no way to get any jobs. There's no way to get any shelter. These assassination attempts are going to go up. You're going to see more and more from the people trying to fight back. And you're going to see a lot more police state because they want to keep the poor people quiet while they push them into extermination camps. I promise you, this is just the beginning of something big. Because the more people get pushed into nothingness, despite their degree, despite their hard work, they're going to start doing more and more in order to fight back.
hid in the vest and taken to the hospital. Officials say he is expected to recover.
That this individual was intent on doing as much harm and as much damage as he could.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says the suspect was stopped before more damage could be done. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, says the suspect is in custody and facing several charges.
Right now, the defendant is being charged with 2 counts, 924C, using a firearm during a crime of violence, and a second crime under 111, which is assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News searches tied to the suspect are now underway in both Southern California and Washington, D.C. Investigators have recovered the suspect's phone and other devices and are working to obtain warrants to examine them. Preliminary information indicates the suspect traveled from Los Angeles to Chicago and then on to Washington in the days leading up to the incident. Authorities say they are now reconstructing his movements and contacts before he arrived at the hotel. Officials say the suspect suffered a knee injury during the takedown and is expected to recover. Inside the ballroom, witnesses and the White House travel pool describe hearing loud bangs as Secret Service agents quickly evacuated the president, First Lady, Vice President, and other senior officials. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Governor Gavin Newsom reacting to the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Newsom posted on X that he is relieved that everyone is safe and that, quote, a free press is foundational to our country. Violence is never acceptable.
ABC News senior.
The people who say violence is unacceptable are the same ones who have the most homelessness and the most irresponsible spending budget I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm going to end it here because a lot of these people are complete imbeciles. I believe that these attempts on a lot of these officials should be seen and investigated. But of course, I do not condemn any of them. I believe a lot of this is going to go up in scale. A lot of these people are going to fight. A lot of these people are going to resort in killing and attacking politicians because the politicians are directly responsible for your life going down the drain. The more homelessness, the more people get pushed out to poverty, the more attacks on police, the more attacks on military, the more attacks on the political theater they push, the more attacks on donations and donors they have on the CEOs, the more ways you have Luigi's, the more ways you have these attempts, the more ways you have people pushing rhetoric that are propagandists pushing for terrorism because it eventually becomes a platform you want to use to inspire more. And there's already people burning down warehouses because their bosses don't pay them enough. There's already people starting to fight back and rebel. This is a system that's collapsing only because of the greed, only because of the discrimination against people of color. And the discrimination comes from both sides of the party because both sides are the ones funding it. You got the Republican Party spending billions of dollars talking about immigration needs to go away, white men only. And then on the left, you have them funding the KKK through the SPLC. And then you have a bunch of them going to Met Galas with the richest people on the earth and Vanity Fairs to get rich and spoiled with the richest people and champagne socialism. You have the Gilded Age in the current 2026. Not a single one of them cares about you. They're doing B-rolls to make themselves look better, but none of them are doing the actual role as a politician to help any of us and be the good president or the politician they need to be. Because their identity is nothing but a hate-filled, mocking agenda. They don't want to fix the world, they want to mock it until eventually you polarize and you kill each other over the identity of being superior. And then you reinstate the caste system, the hierarchy of which is mainly toward the rich and the white. And then they push down the black and the brown and they look for excuses again as their nepotist circles start to make. And you have the same monarchies, you have the same tribal leaderships, you have the same people talking with the happy talking points. And they tokenize the people of color in order to hide behind accusations of rape, pedophilia, or racial attacks that the left has. And they do the same on the right. And the entire government's just a big inspiration for the Nazi party. It's not as smart as you think it is. A lot of these people are watching the collapse of an imperialist white supremacist society. It's why this identity is continuously being pushed to hate people. It's this identity being pushed to insinuate more hatred. AOC voted against the sex bill, which hides all sexual accusations. They're hiding a lot of their own demons, hiding a lot of their people. She's falling in line. She vote president during a genocide. Yes or no, kill all Palestinians. She said she's present. That's not a big answer. If I said kill all black people in America, I'd say no. She'd say she's present. That's a very fascinating identity because they wait till after the lashing, after the people are being slaughtered in order to say that they're actually on the side of what they believe is morally right because they want to keep their job. They want to keep their rent paid. A lot of these people don't really care about the American people or the working class. I promise you that. You gotta be very careful. I don't hate AOC. I just think she's a person who has a lot to show, and there's not a lot to see. There's not a lot to see. She is not showing her identity. She's very hidden and very shown as this person who likes to pounce on the victim, so to speak, instead of actually make and destroy one of these people. She has no real talking point. She stuttered during the Taiwan questioning. I covered that. I had to private it because I talked too much about her. I felt bad because the identity wasn't in line with what I wanted to support. But she's not prepared. She is not prepared for any of this. She is missing a very key part of the debate, a very key part of the power structure she has. A lot of people on the left, Gavin Newsom did an interview with Charlie Kirk. That guy's just a straight KKK member. Charlie Kirk has direct ties with the Atomwaffen members and the members of white supremacy. Hassan Piker's pushing terrorism. He's defending Iran while saying Epstein is an issue, but then you have child marriages like crazy in Iran, and instead of addressing it, he says the child marriages is in America. That doesn't make him sound like he's anti-child marriage. It makes him sound like child marriage should be overlooked. That's not the identity you want to take. These people are cowards. They don't have a backbone. They haven't been lynch mobbed like I have. They haven't been attempted murdered like I have. They haven't had knife attacks against them like I have. They never had to escape a situation by humiliating yourself just because you didn't want to die that day. You never had a situation where people threatened to kill you, shoot you dead in your own room because they have white supremacist attachments to threaten you. You never had dead animals thrown at you. They don't know what they're doing. I fought more for the people color they have. You're supposed to stand on business. Why are they cowardly? I'm barely known on the sphere, and people still try to threaten to kill me. Corrupt police try to talk down on me and try to hurt me. They said he's reaching while I was in handcuffs. Come on now, what is their story? What is their story? Come on now. Shut up that noise. That's what I say. They ain't a revolutionary. They're a participant in the oppressive government. We need leaders. We need representation, not a bunch of people trying to get the white liberal on their side and scared they're going to offend a bunch of black and brown people because we're going to end up infighting because there's a bunch of anti-Latino hate from the black crowd and a bunch of anti-black hate from the brown crowd and a bunch of anti-not white hate from the people who own the entire thing. Come on now, we gotta unite and organize against a lot of these people in power. And I don't mean against the left right now. I mean the one in power, which is a Republican administration. And yes, I am paying attention to that funding of the KKK. I am paying attention to that funding of all these rich people getting high on ketamine, which is very interesting to me because it should have been free if it's prescribed. It's very interesting to me that has a lot of people starting to unite on this champagne socialism. Rich people going to Met Galas, rich people going to Vanity Fairs, people defending Iran, when realistically the invasion of Iran should not be supported, it should be gone against because we can't support that war in cost of monetary gain. In terms of morality, we'd be at war with more than 80% of this world if we went off morals. We can't even fight inside of our own country. We're busy at these shootings that are happening. I'll see you guys on the next video because I promise you there's going to be another one of these shootings. There's going to be another disappointment ahead. I'm going to cover some white supremacy because a lot of these people have been popping off. A lot of leftists aren't doing their job and talking out about it. None of them are doing what you're supposed to do when you see evil or white supremacy. They see a voter base they can't upset.